and really study the effects of this behavioral modification technology. The results are troubling, to say the least. The same trauma is present in test subjects across every simulation. We aren't producing subservient workers, we're replicating trauma. The Burger Farm employee, Toe, is just 35 years old, and yet his brain activity has aged into that of an 87-year-old. He has lost the ability to perform his tasks in the restaurant, staring listlessly at burning patties. It's a wonder he hasn't burnt the place down. I've observed the same deterioration in the radio host Maverick Cooper. Most of the other test subjects have perished or disappeared, like E7. I will be ordering the extraction of Toe and Maverick when I depart. Hopefully they can regain cognitive function with rehabilitation. What I have seen underground is nothing short of horrific. It's not just our experiments. Something is alive down there. Upon extraction, I must demand Zane reconsider his Lucidus initiative. It must be shut down immediately and permanently. We must seal the underground facility. Grimm is a good man, but I fear he's been staring into the darkness for far too long and losing sight of why we all started this. My name is Dr. Rochelle Luna, current assignment call sign E14. I enter the Lucidus Initiative simulations by my own volition. While I told my superiors I wished to test efficacy, I am here to test ethics. Are these simulations humane? I will record my observations and report my findings upon extraction.
Joy is an organism of unknown origins that attached itself to a happy, the humble heifer animatronic. Yes, the cow from the cartoons and the video games. Joy is the only asset we could not contain. She roams freely throughout the facility and is incredibly dangerous. So much so that Paragon plans to abandon its underground operations and convert it into a prison for these things. The scientist who first discovered Joy managed to survive with his life, but not with his sanity. First he turned against Paragon, then he turned against himself. It is inadvisable to interact with Happy, aka Acid Joy. She's violent and extremely dangerous. If she were able to break free from the facility, there's no telling what would happen to the island, or the world at that. That's why I need to stop all this. Strangely, Happy's taken on the role of an abusive authority figure at the Burger Farm simulation. If test subjects miss a shift, Happy drags them to work. If they make mistakes while serving customers, Happy terrorizes them. Evidence shows that she can be subdued by temporarily feeding her a rotten hamburger made from the patty pile she pukes up. Acid Peter is an organism that fuses with Petey, the portly pig animatronic. Acid Peter has an insatiable hunger. After rampaging through the facility for several days, he found his way into a Burger Bomb simulation stage that was under repair. Construction workers were fixing up the building. Me and my team were working on a large quantity of AI units, when all of a sudden, Peter burst in. He devoured the entire construction crew, all of my scientists, and dozens of AI units. I hid in the walk-in. I heard the screams of my friends and my co-workers as they were massacred. After hours I finally emerged only to find Peter overburdened and fused to the floor. He couldn't reach me, and I made it out of the only survivor. The employees who lost their lives were simply wiped from the records. Their history of the company erased. My families have no idea they even worked here. And now, I'll never hear from them again. Paragon must pay. It's advised to pursue extreme caution around Acid Peter. Despite his immobility, he's highly dangerous. Peter throws explosive projectiles peeled off of his own body at any perceived prey. The projectiles he throws sometimes fuses with the AI units, creating a new organism. These ghouls function as Peter's servants. I theorize they might have some sort of connection. A hive mind. Ironically, the same sort of hive mind Grim dreams of creating. If Peter somehow manages to dislodge himself from the ground and escape this facility, him and his AI minions will do unspeakable damage to Dirijongo. As it Samuel and Acid Farmer both managed to be contained quickly, we come off the lower levels of the underground facility shortly after the meltdown. Samuel swims about the abandoned sewer tunnels, and Acid Farmer was last seen roaming the area around the Happy Hamburger Retro Dino simulation. He's got that big bloody sickle. Saw him decapitate 3 guards in one swipe once, and for some reason, Grim thinks we need to keep these things alive? To study them? What can we learn about them other than we need to put them down? As containment mode was designed to capture Acid Joy, using employees or test subjects as bait. After observing Joy terrorizing Burger Farm test subjects, an enclosure is built around the restaurant. Lighting dims and goes red, and an alarm goes off to warn employees to take cover. Unfortunately, this never managed to work, and the enclosure was removed. ACM was discontinued, but Acid Joy ironically took control of the systems, and now she seems to trigger the stages of ACM herself, just to terrorize employees, scare them into efficiency. AI blinders are AI units that have been possessed with the organic residue of Acid Chuck. Much like the AI bombers, blinders explode upon getting too close to hostile or active prey. But when they do so, they emit a thick sludge that burns, temporarily blinding victims. AI cloakers are born when the flesh of Acid Joy fuses with a customer bot. They have incredibly effective camouflage that causes them to blend into the environment. You see nothing but their glowing eyes. The entire motivation of cloakers is to cause havoc and mischief, and of course when the test subjects fail to serve customers due to the mischief of the cloakers, that's when Happy shows up. AI bombers are the customer bots fused with the flesh of Acid Peter. While the primary function is to drag docile organics to be consumed by Peter, they self-destruct when faced with hostility. No one knows how exactly they explode, but we do know to get out of the way when they start glitching out and screaming. Grim is convinced the assets are highly intelligent. These organisms choose to possess the nightmare animatronic designs, taken from the more adult-oriented kaiju spin-off movies. Whatever fused with these animatronics could have possessed the friendlier-looking Behind Your Buds designs, but chose to go with the more threatening monster designs for a further advantage against their prey, to terrify and intimidate, to immobilize with fear they cannot escape.
Jazzy, Java, joint. Has it all? A band? Coffee? That's it, really. The coffee sure does give you a boost, though. You can serve customers at Burger Farm like 3 times as fast after you drink one. Ah, Steal and Sell. The one place in New Elise city you can buy radio transmitters and other rare and weird items. You might even be able to sell some things or two for some credits, but you aren't making money on the side, are you? We've got extra shifts available, you know.
I'm E7, the one they used to keep in the Burger Barn simulation. The tech in HHBB was too effective and the hypnosis was too strong. It made me nauseous. Everything was all warped-looking and jittery. After the big explosion knocked the simulations off the grid, I managed to break out of there. But Paragon captured me and moved me here to Happy Burger. I think this diner simulation stage is much older than Barn. The hypnosis is so much weaker. I've started to remember who I am again. The robot customers have become much more advanced since I left Barn and got thrown into the diner. Less creepy looking too. I managed to capture one of them, power it down and remove his head before tossing all his limbs in that spooky parking garage. I've been hacking into the head back in my motel, off shift. And believe it or not, he came to life. He has an actual personality. He never shuts up, and every other joke bombs, but Vic is my only friend. This virtual intelligent cybernetic isn't just someone to talk to, though. He's gonna be my ticket out of here. He's gonna be my ticket out of here. So, I got moved again. This time from an early Burger Farm stage in unfinished city to a super spruced up version called, New Elysian City. Man, I can't believe they actually gave us trucks in some of those simulations. My legs miss them. Anyway, I finally managed to transfer VIC from my old apartment near the diner to, my new apartment in New Elysian. Dragged Vic by the cables through the sewers. He wouldn't stop complaining the whole way. Almost got us caught by one of those things. We've started to work on these recipes. Keycard hackers, bombs, and the most important of all, the helmet. When the helmet is finished, it'll fry that lousy chip they implanted in my skull. Then I can finally get out of this place, once and for all.
Obscure aren't all that bad, you know? Sure, they may have extended my contract numerous times, keeping me here for what has to be several years at this point. Really hard to tell how much time passes when you're underground. But at least they've been lining up great interviews for me at New Elysian Talk Radio. Maverick, Cam Cooper signing out off. Obscura has me making videos for their TV programming now. Must be nuts. I'm loading the shows they're paying me to make with so many truth bombs. Time to wake some people up. People need to know fabricating reality isn't some ticket to paradise. It's a totalitarian goal, and with the world government backing it, it has the potential to kill millions. Anyone who dissents is in danger. Maverick Cooper, signing out. What's up, Seacoast Row subscribers? Been at this King's Comfort Resort for a while now, and Obscura stuck to their word. On my last broadcast, you may remember me signing a legally binding verbal contract. This contract essentially stuck me under Obscura control for a year. And they weren't kidding. I haven't been allowed to leave the island. What I got myself into. Anyway, I'm gonna upload these short audio logs onto this private Seacoast Roast status post server. Only subscribers get to hear it. Since that's the case, may as well drop a little bombshell on you here. Maverick Cooper, signing off.
Hello, my name is Theodore Oliver Emerson, but my family calls me Theo, and my friends, they all call me Toe. I've wanted to escape that nickname since childhood, and I finally did when I got here, but now I'd give anything to hear them call me Toe one last time. I've been stuck here in New Elysian City. It's like this fake town. I don't know how to get out. If you're hearing this, you gotta help me. I think there's others too, and you gotta hurry. They're doing something to our brains. I'm losing my memories, starting to forget, well, almost everything.
Dara